Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach. So we're going to start with the eyes, and on the right side here, we'll start with the eyebrow. Okay, so in the middle, I'm just going to draw a line kind of going at an angle from top to bottom, this way. And from this point, I'm going to go up in a curve up to the highest point in the eyebrow. So we're going to curve up, and then from that point, I'm just going to draw a straight line going outwards. From here, where that point was, I'm going to go in an angle upwards. And then from here, I'm going to connect that point to that little peak, the top of the eyebrow, like so. And now I'm going to draw the top of the eyelid. So from here, right about halfway, maybe a little bit more towards the left, I'm going to start and draw a line going straight across. And from here, from this edge, I'm going to come down in an angle, very short angle. And then from that point, I'm going to curve the bottom of the eyelid, so going from the outside towards the middle, and I'm just going to fade out right about there. I'm going to come back in towards the center of the eye, and so right about here, I'm just going to draw a little short line going towards the center of the face. And then from here, I'm going to do an overlap, come up, and just kind of connect to that point there, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. So coming across and just leaving a gap open right there. Let's draw the pupil. So right here in the middle of the eye, I'm going to draw a half circle. So from here, I'm going to go up like so. And then I'm going to draw a little backward C on the left of center here. So like this. And then from that point, I'm going to come up and just close that off like a circle. So it kind of looks like a highlight on one side. Now, for a little bit of detail, I'm going to go above that eyelid, to just underneath this eyebrow, and just draw a horizontal line across, just for a little double eyelid detail. Let's go to the left side here and just draw the other side, but this eye is sort of foreshortened, meaning it gets a little bit smaller widthwise because he's going to be facing in that direction. So right about here, I'm going to draw a curve, just like I did here on the side. From this point, I'm going to go to the highest peak of his eyebrow, so going up, and then I'm going to come down in a slight angle, like so. Let's go back down, and from this point, I'm going to connect to sort of halfway up that line there, so going across in a curve, and connecting there. Now from here I'm going to draw a horizontal line slightly angled upwards for the top of the eyelid, like that. And from here I'm going to draw a line down with a little bit of an overlap. And then from here I'm just going to curve in a little bit just for the bottom part of the eyelid. And then from here I'm just going to finish that off by going right into that point in the eyebrow. And from here I'm just going to draw a little line for a little detail underneath the eye. Now I'm going to draw the same size pupil on this side here, so drawing a half size circle, and I'm going to draw that backward C, and just kind of taper it out so it looks like a half circle, kind of, just like that. And from here I'm going to draw the nose bridge. So he's got a pretty flat nose bridge, so here, right about here on the left side, just in line with this eyebrow, I'm going to draw a straight line coming down and then curving out very slightly towards the left. From here I'm going to do an overlap. So coming up here and drawing a curve towards the center of the nose. And then just simply on this right side, I'm just going to draw a little dash, kind of going upwards in that direction. I'm going to give him a little bit of a smile. I don't know, he might look pretty cool with a smile. So right about here, I'm going to draw a curve going down to one side. And then I'm going to flip this side up on the right side here. And come in a little bit on the left and come down with a short little line, kind of like a T. And again, from here, I'm going to go up and connect with that point in the mouth there. From here, I'm just going to draw a little slope, a little curve for the bottom of the lip. Now that I have the face balanced out, now I got to figure out where the chin will be. So right about here, he's got a very pointy chin, so I'm just going to draw a very short horizontal line, just to indicate where the bottom of the chin is. Now, I can sort of figure out where the profile of the head is going to be. So right about here, I want to draw not a straight line down, but kind of like an angle going towards the right. So right about this eyebrow line, I want to kind of come in an angle. And then from here I'm going to connect to that chin, but I'm going to, along the way, I'm going to draw it in a bit of a curve, going out, and then from here I'm going to go back in and just round out that chin point. Alright, if you miss that, you can go back, rewind, and play that again, but it's basically a straight line. It's got a little bit of an outward curve, bulging out from the cheek, and then coming back in the opposite direction towards that chin point. So from here, I'm going to, with my finger, indicate where the jaw line would be. So right about here, I want to draw a line going out straight and then curving around that jaw. The ear is going to be somewhere around here, so the side of the head, I'm going to go up in an angle right about here. This is where I want to stop because this is where I'm going to draw the ear. So the bottom of the ear, I'm going to draw a curve. Now the top of the ear is just going to come above that eyebrow here. So I'm just going to keep my finger here while I draw a curve going out. I'll round this out, going towards the top of the ear. From here I'm going to go horizontal and then curve in for the top of the ear. And we can draw a little bit of simple ear detail. So I'm just going to outline the inner part of the ear that sort of matches the outer part. Do a little bulge here and come back in, come down, and then from here I'm just going to go around and back in. Just tuck that in. Very simple ear. Okay, so from here now I want to draw a little bit of hair. So he's got sort of like very spiky hair, lots of strands that are coming down in clumps. So let's start with the middle. So he's got this big clump that kind of comes down the center of his face. So right about here, I'm just going to draw a curve that goes in towards the eye, then back up again. And it's okay to do overlaps. So you can do overlaps or just stay with that same line. So I can come down towards that nose, and then go back up again. Now I'll show you an example of an overlap. So from here, I'll come down here, and I'll just swoop that back up again. Kind of makes it looks like clumped hair together. And I can break it off by coming out, and up again, down, and back up. So there's like a big clump of hair in the center of his face. From this point, I'm going to kind of change directions, go a little bit more wider with the hair, come back up, down, up, do an overlap here, and again, kind of like that. On this side, I'm going to probably do a little bit more clumps into the eye and go high up on this side here. And this is where I change directions going around the ear. So around the sideburn area, just coming up like that. Now, on the side here, he's got some hair that kind of pokes in behind that head. So I'm going to come out, do a couple overlaps, kind of let some hair stick out there. And then he's got this large, massive hair of spikes. So I just want to use my fingers to gauge how high I want to go. So right about here to about here on the side. So all I want to do is go around in sort of like a circle, but as I'm going along, make some spikes. So I'll come out, create some really big spikes, kind of like that. Out, and you can see that I'm curving to a point and then curving back in the same direction, but tapering it out. And then from here, because the hair top is right about here, I'm going to sort of switch directions and kind of go up steeper. Do a couple overlaps if I want to. Again, just layering the hair in like so. So you can see that the hair is sort of curved and sweeping upwards. This is where the hair will really change direction. So right now I'm kind of aiming that way. At some point I'm going to have to change directions going this way. So I'll sort of imagine, okay, if the hair is like this, I'm going to put a point right here. That's my change of direction point. So from this point, I'm going to kind of start going up, go outward, maybe do a couple more clumps, kind of like that. Now from here, I'm going to change directions. Now I'm going to have to go the opposite direction like that. I'll kind of curve out, do a couple more overlaps, kind of like so. Okay. Like this. And now you can see that I'm slowly coming around the back of the head. So see these hairs here, they're sort of angled downwards. This side, they're going to have to come around, basically coming vertical at some point. So here, I'm going to just come around that ear, kind of like so. Okay, stop right about there. Now that's not too bad. I wish I kind of brought this one in a little bit, but that's okay. You can always modify and shape it if you want later. Here, I'm going to draw the neck collar. So I'm going to imagine his neck is coming down here. I'm going to imagine the two sides of the collar coming around. So on this one side, I'm going to come around in a curve. I'm going to leave a break here. So I'm going to imagine this line coming and going, continuing on here around his neck. Okay? From this point, I'm going to come down in a curve. On this side, I'll come down in a curve. So curving outwards around the neck. From here, now I can draw in the rest of the neck. So behind this ear, I'm going to curve in. And you can see that I'm stepping it back behind that collar. Now I can go in and finish off the hair kind of like that. here I'll imagine the front of the neck, so I'll just tuck that in, again stepping back from the edge of that collar. From here I'm going to draw a little bit of neck detail, so the neckline in the side here. From here, now I can draw a couple of details. So I'm going to do an overlap here, come in towards center with the curve. I'll do the same with this side, so they're both kind of curving in towards each other, and simply I'm just going to draw those two lines down in the middle. Now for the collar, I'm going to draw from this point a curve going towards the left. I'll do the same thing on the left side here, and from these points I'm just going to tuck these in around this point here, so around this way. From this point I'm going to curve out towards the shoulders. This one will curve out towards the shoulders. Now I'm not going to put a lot of detail in the body, but I'm just going to show you how to sort of finish this off around the neck area. So from here, I'm going to just draw a little bit of simple trim. So I'm going to come around and come straight down. So this is a little bit of a trim. I'll do the same thing on this side here. Go straight down. Let's draw a little bit of neck detail, so collarbone. So here I'm just going to draw a U shape. And from this point, I'm just going to curve up on one side, curve up on the other. You draw a little bit of Adam's apple if you want, so like drawing a sort of elongated C shape there. And then again, drawing a little bit of detail, just outlining the inner part of that collar. Same on the right side, coming up like that. And essentially there we have it. There's Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please share it with your friends, and we'll see you again soon.